Welcome into ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tenitra. Coming up on today's show, we'll tell you exactly what you should expect from Desmond Ridder in his second start on the road. It's ATL Day Ones. Let's go.
This is ATL Day Ones, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta. And it starts now.
I just want to say thank you for making ATL Day Ones your first listen of the day. Remember, we're free and available wherever you download your podcast. And wherever you download your podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. Really appreciate that from you in advance. Hey, today's episode of ATL Day One is brought to you by BetOnline. And guess what, y'all? If you're tired of watching us on your phone, on that little bitty old screen, how about you download us on Amazon Fire and Roku and put us on the big screen? Absolutely. You can watch us and check us out there. So we really appreciate you for downloading that Locked On Sports Atlanta app. Now, T, the Falcons, Ravens on Saturday is getting ready to go down. The Falcons are going on the road. They're taking their rookie quarterback on the road, T. And I think that we saw some things that we liked in that first start against the New Orleans Saints, and we saw some things that we did not like in that start against the New Orleans Saints. But I think going into this game, T, I know for me, we talked about it on yesterday's show as far as what I want to see from Desmond Ridder, and not necessarily anticipate the pressure, but anticipate the protection and know that those guys are going to protect as long as they possibly can for you, and so you can be able to make the necessary throw. What say you, T? What are you expecting to see from Ridder?
Yeah, and I'll go with one play at the end of the game where we all scratched our heads like, did he just run out of bounds? Like, did he not even try to heave it up? Because honestly, if that ends up in a pick, like if he can Hail Mary that thing and it still ends up in a pick, no harm, no foul. I mean, I know you don't want that on your stat line in your NFL debut, but going out of bounds, we absolutely can't do anything. So if the Falcons find themselves in a down to the wire game with the Ravens, which I suspect they might, because the Ravens don't exactly score you out of the stadium.
Right. Exactly.
I think that would be opportunities for like the good Desmond to be even better. So when I say the good Desmond, meaning the Desmond who on 4th and 5 put the Falcons in position at the end of the game to actually either tie it up or just outright win it. Yeah. And then the average Desmond becomes the good Desmond, because this time, if it's not there for him, don't run out of bounds, scramble just a little bit more and see if somebody can come open and give yourself a chance, because you just never know what might happen. And that was just one example, because I didn't find too many things that he did wrong that were so egregious that I thought, oh, dear God, are we going to put him out there again this Sunday? No, I feel like he has easy building blocks that Arthur Smith and Dave Ragone can use and now open up that playbook just a little bit more.
Yeah, so, and I think when you're talking about going up against one of the best run defenses in the NFL, you're still going to have to stick to the script. That's my advice to Arthur Smith, because he's a guy that I think that some from time to time he can kind of get out of himself, right? Because the play caller, the guy that you drafted, the guy that you believed in, the guy that you were sold on, and drafted him in that 3rd round, you want to kind of test it out a little bit. You want to step on the gas a little bit and pick things up, and because you want to be able to put some points on the board and kind of throw defenses off. And I get that line of thinking. However, like we talked about the coming out party that was Tyler Algier down there on the road in New Orleans, and I like what I saw, T. He is RB1 in my eyes, and I think that the more you give Tyler Algier the football, the more the Falcons will be successful on Saturday against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, and listen, we have seen the Falcons successfully go against some of the top run defenses in the league, and maybe in that first and second quarter, that team got the best of the Falcons, but Arthur Smith stuck to his guns. And we can remember 2 games in a row, the Browns, and I forget who the other ones, may have been the 49ers, 7 straight runs, 7 straight runs. And one time it was 11 straight. And these were some really good run defenses. So I do believe that, yes, stick to your
49ers
program.
might be the best defense in the NFL, period.
Right, exactly. Stop. Literally ran over them and was like, I dare you to stop me. So definitely do it again. And Jarvis, think about it. that was when Tyler Algier was not this Tyler Algier, right? We saw shades of it, but a lot of that was Caleb Huntley. A lot of that was Cordero Patterson, and with some Tyler mixed in. But now with Caleb on IR and Tyler, Cordero, it's late in the season. So obviously he's going to have fewer carries. Tyler is ready to tote the rock. I do believe you can put it on his back, and that'll be a complimentary game because, of course, then you can get into play action and hopefully wear this Ravens defense down towards the end so that if it is a tight game, you do need to rely on your passing game. You've worn them down enough to be able to do that, or to just run it down their throats one more time to get a win.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the key to victory in my eyes. Run the football. I know it's simple. We say it every week, but like when you have, a top 5 rushing team in NFL, that's an asset. You have to use that because your offensive line is giving you that. That right side of the offensive line we talked about with Chris Lindstrom being going to his first Pro Bowl and Caleb McGarry having one of his best years ever in the run blocking situations. Those you got to take advantage of that, especially when you talking about going against good on good. I love it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I don't want Arthur Smith to shy away from it. I want him to go out there and run that rock and see what happens because, hey, this is what we do really well. This is what they do really well, and that's run defense and running the football. Hey, now we're in for a fight, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Now, we just got word that a certain Lamar Jackson won't be playing. We'll talk about the effect that has on the Atlanta Falcons. But first, we got to talk about BetOnline.net because it is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. I was looking at BetOnline.net trying to figure out some numbers, trying to see what has moved, what hasn't moved, and that over-under has gone down a little bit. I'm not surprised because Lamar Jackson will be out. You trying to get all this information? That's why. You know where I found the information? BetOnline, because it continues to be the top online source for all your sports wagering information for live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts. They got you covered. We got you covered for all your ATL sports information Monday through Friday right here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Go to BetOnline for all your sports wagering information. Because here's what I want you to do. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today because BetOnline is where the game starts.
Yes, it does.
T, I think that, with Lamar Jackson being out and Tyler Huntley being able to come in as a starter, we know he's a serviceable backup.
Yes.
But the one thing that we have to talk about is that Roquan Smith dude. That guy that they traded from the Chicago Bears in a trade before the trade deadline this season, and he has been all of what they needed and what they expected.
Yes.
But I think that does this kind of lean towards or skew towards being an advantage for the Falcons now that Lamar Jackson is out, or do we have to be aware of what Tyler Huntley capabilities are?
Yeah, well, they have themselves a decent runner in J.K. Dobbins, so they may put the rock in his hands a little bit more and just kind of see what he can do to make Tyler Huntley even more serviceable. However, that said, Lamar Jackson was still your #1 running back. Let's just be real about
That's
it.
That dude. That's that dude.
So you QB1 and RB1 all at the same time. I feel like that is an advantage for the Falcons, and thank goodness Dean Pease is safe and sound. He's doing well. He's out there scheming. There scheming, and he was going to be prepared whether it's Huntley or Jackson. But I do think that this is sneaky good because, listen, there's a guy that you had spoken about earlier in the year, and actually there are a couple, so I'm going to just go back to what you said. One of them was you wanted to see more out of Troy Anderson, and another was Lorenzo Carter. Are you there? Do you have a pulse? Are you there? And these are two guys, right, that not to say there aren't other players who are starting to step up as well, but these are two guys that I wanted to point out just looking at the defense as a whole, where I think you're starting to see them kind of reset and gather their footing. I still felt like they had a decent bend but don't break game against the Saints. I just think a couple things just did not go their way. Number one, when there was some miscues, if we're being nice about it, there were some miscues that cost them big. And then, of course, what didn't happen on offense. But I do think that Dean Pease is going to find a way to take advantage of whatever little blind spots Tyler Huntley has. And on that same token, I'm thinking to myself, now Sammy Watkins is new to this team, right?
Yeah.
So that chemistry between Huntley and Watkins, as an example, may not quite be there. So, hey, that might be an opportunity for the Falcons secondary to feast as well, which then you are tightening up the reins and kind of forcing the run game to be their thing. And okay, fine. Then let Falcons, let's go to work. Let's go ahead and stop the run game because we already know what the pass game is going to look like in the secondary that we have in place to stop them.
Yeah, and I think that Troy Anderson is a really good starting point because when you think about him getting more snaps, and like a lot of people, paid attention to what Desmond Ridder supplanting Marcus Mariota as a starter. One of the things that we saw last game, I think Troy Anderson played 82% of the snaps.
Yes.
And Michael Walker had his least amount of snaps played for the entire season. So we're seeing more of him. And when you talk about the type of offense that the Baltimore Ravens are bringing in, and I put a video out of Troy Anderson earlier on in the week about him being able to believe what he sees.
Yes.
Like, you got to react, use that athletic ability, because when you're out there thinking as a linebacker in that small amount of space, you are going to get swallowed up, snatched up, and making tackles 7 yards down the field. And you know what that means? That means you're ineffective. And that means that Terry Fontenot is going to be looking at crazy at the end of next year because like, dang, why did he draft this dude in the second round? So I think that Troy Anderson has to get his bearings together, believe what he sees, get in that film room, because Baltimore is going to throw all type of RPOs and formations, and then they're going to find Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. They're going to find all those dudes. They're going to try to find all those tight ends, because we know the Falcons have traditionally struggled with covering tight ends, and Jawan Johnson went off last week for the tight end for the New Orleans Saints. He had 2 touchdowns coming off an injury last week against the Falcons. So I promise you, the Ravens saw that tape, and they're going to try to take advantage of that. So Troy Anderson is going to be very important to the Falcons' defense success this week, and I think that Dean Pease is more than likely he's going to be all in his ear, because I think that's going to be the key for the Falcons winning this game. And I think that that's something that you definitely going to keep an eye on. But I think that Roquan Smith, though, that is going to be a big indicator, because I think that Desmond Ridder, when you're talking about that middle linebacker being the quarterback of that defense, and I think the Ravens are going to like that matchup against a rookie quarterback making his second start on the road.
Yeah, and the point earlier was very, very timely, because you want to talk about anticipating a rush? That's coming. But you have to anticipate that at just the right time. Like, don't let it shake you, and don't let it make you, release the ball too soon. Or if there's a scramble opportunity, you're too busy scrambling in your head to make a decision. You already know Roquan Smith is going to bring it, right? But to your point, settle yourself down. Let your O-line give you a little bit of help to just kind of buy you some time. And maybe because you got blocking tight ends at the end of the day. So use your blocking tight ends, or use your running back. Just use every weapon that you have to be able to just slow him down enough so that you can get that ball out of your hands. Yes. But I say that, and I also say easier said than done.
Absolutely. You know what else is easier said than done? You guys checking us out each and every day, making us your first listen. We appreciate you for that. Go ahead and make your second listen Locked On Sports today. They have all the news and everything that you need for all the national sports. And if, the Falcons pull this bad boy off, they're going to be talking about Desmond Ridder. So you can find all your information there. Take it a day, just like we do for the culture. Make sure you check that out. Now, you guys, tell them what we got going on, as far as we won't be on here on Monday, but we're going to have some good stuff cooking up for you on Tuesday, though.
Yeah, because we'll be able to still break down and give you guys some insight on Falcons Ravens. And of course, the Hawks are going to be back on the road. And if we have any more information about what's going on behind the scenes, we are definitely going to bring it to you. And that is the week leading up to the college football playoffs. So we're going to start talking some Georgia, Ohio State. You guys be safe out there. Merry Christmas to you. We'll see you on the other side.
Y'all come back now, you hear?